Hey everyone, welcome back to LevelUP Gamers, your go-to channel for learning game development from scratch. In the last video, we created a 2D player movement system in Unity without writing a single line of code. If you missed that, make sure to check it out. The link is in the description below. Now that we have a player that moves, it's time to make it a little more interactive. Today, we're going to add collisions and basic player animations to our 2D player. We'll ensure that when the player moves, they'll collide with walls or objects in the game and even trigger a simple animation. Let's dive in. First, let's make sure the player can interact with the environment. Select your player object in the hierarchy. Make sure your player object has a box collider, 2D component. If it doesn't, let's add it. Click on Add Component. Box Collider 2D. Now, let's make sure the ground or any objects the player should collide with also have colliders. Select the ground object or walls or platforms. Add a box collider, 2D component to those objects depending on what you're using. Now test the scene again. Your player should now stop when colliding with the walls or any other object that has a collider. Next, let's add some life to our player by adding basic animations. Like when they're moving first, you'll need some animation frames. If you haven't created them yet, create some simple sprites. You can use my sprites. You can get into the description. Go to Window, Animation, Animation to open the animation window. Select the player object. Click Create in the animation window and name it something like Player Idle. We'll create an idle animation first. Add frames of the idle sprite, usually one frame for simplicity. And click Save to add a walking animation. Repeat the steps and create a new animation. Add your walking frames to the timeline and adjust the speed. Now, let's set up the Animator controller. Select the player object. Add an Animator component if not already there. Create a new Animator controller by right-clicking in the project window, selecting Create Animator Controller. Double-click it to open the Animator window. Drag your animations, idle, walk, into the Animator window. We now need to set up a trigger between idle and walking animations based on player movement. To make the animation change when the player is moving, let's modify our player movement script. Open your player movement script. Add a reference to the Animator component. Private Animator anim. In the start method, get the Animator component, get component. Inside the update method, we'll check for movement input and update the animation. Matmathfabs horizontal, 0. Matmathfabs vertical, 0. Anim.setBool is walking, true. Set is walking to true when moving, that's to else. Anim.setBool is walking, false. Set is walking to false when idle. Now, go to the Animator window and add a condition. For example, idle animation should play if is walking equals false. Walk animation should play if is walking equals true. Let's test everything now. Click play and try moving the player using the arrow keys or AWASD. You should see the player walking animation trigger when moving, and the player will collide with walls or platforms. Experiment with different animations, or try adjusting the walk speed in the script to change the pace of the animation. Awesome! Now we have a fully interactive player that can move, collide with objects, and animate. In the next video, we'll go even further by adding things like jumping mechanics, more advanced animations, enemies, and obstacles. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to LevelUP Gamers, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Now go create something amazing.